Hello everyone, it is us, the dedicated team at TV Day's Drama Digest here, your go-to source for all the juicy, heart-wrenching twists and turns in the world of daytime soap operas. We're passionate about diving deep into the emotional roller coasters that keep us all glued to our screens, and today, we've got a story that's bound to tug at your heartstrings like never before. We're talking about none other than Chad DiMera from Days of Our Lives, that brooding, complex anti-hero who's captured our imaginations with his turbulent life full of love, loss, betrayal, and redemption. But hold on to your tissues, folks, because we're about to explore a potential plotline that's nothing short of devastating. Chad might have to say a heartbreaking goodbye to his beloved children, Thomas and Charlotte, without even getting the chance to hold them one last time. Join us as we unpack this gut-wrenching scenario, speculate on the drama ahead, and delve into why this could be one of the most emotional farewells in Salem's storied history. First, let's set the stage for those who might need a quick refresher on the chaos unfolding in Salem. As avid viewers of Days of Our Lives know all too well, Chad DiMera, played with such intensity by the talented Billy Flynn, has been through the ringer. From his tumultuous marriage to Abigail Devereaux, which ended in tragedy with her untimely death, to his ongoing battles within the cutthroat DiMera family empire, Chad's life is a masterclass in soap opera suffering. But nothing hits harder than threats to his role as a father. Thomas and Charlotte, his young children, are the light of his life, the anchors that keep him grounded amid the constant storms of deceit and danger. These kids represent his hope for a better future, a chance to break the cycle of DiMera dysfunction and provide the stable, loving home he never had growing up. Now, picture this: Chad is currently trapped in the infamous DiMera catacombs, a dark, labyrinthine underground prison that's seen more than its share of Salem's secrets and scandals. He's not alone in this nightmare. He's being held captive alongside Kristen DiMera and Tony DiMera, two of the most manipulative and unpredictable members of his own family. Kristen, with her scheming ways and history of obsession, and Tony, whose loyalties shift like the winds, make for volatile companions in confinement. The catacombs themselves are a character in their own right, damp, echoing chambers filled with shadows, where the air is thick with the musty scent of forgotten history and the faint drip of water from unseen cracks. It's the perfect setting for despair, a place where time seems to stretch endlessly, amplifying every fear and regret. This captivity couldn't come at a worse time for Chad. While he's fighting for his freedom in the bowels of the DiMera mansion, life above ground marches on relentlessly. And here's where the real heartbreak begins. A custody hearing for Thomas and Charlotte is looming on the horizon. Jennifer Horton Devereaux, Abigail's mother and a pillar of Salem's moral compass, is poised to challenge Chad's guardianship. Jennifer, portrayed with fierce maternal protectiveness by Melissa Reeves, has always been a force to be reckoned with. She's watched Chad's life spiral through scandals, affairs, and dangerous alliances, and now, with him mysteriously absent, she sees an opportunity to step in and provide the stability she believes her grandchildren deserve. Imagine the courtroom scene, the sterile, tension-filled atmosphere of the Salem courthouse, where judges in black robes wield the power to shatter families. Jennifer and her husband, Jack Devereaux, would be there, dressed impeccably, their faces etched with determination and sorrow. Jack, ever the journalist with a keen eye for truth, might testify about Chad's recent lapses, his involvement in DiMera family feuds, his emotional volatility following Abigail's death, and now this unexplained disappearance. The judge, perhaps a no-nonsense figure like the ones we've seen in past episodes, would scrutinize every detail. Where is Mr. DiMera? The judge might demand, her gavel poised like a sword of Damocles. With no answer forthcoming, the scales could tip dramatically in Jennifer's favor. Chad's absence from the hearing would be his undoing. Trapped in those catacombs, he'd be powerless to defend himself. He couldn't stand before the court and plead his case, couldn't look the judge in the eye and swear that he's changed, that his children are his everything. Instead, the narrative would paint him as negligent, a father who's vanished without a trace, leaving his young ones vulnerable. Thomas, the spirited little boy with his father's charm, and Charlotte, the innocent toddler who's barely begun to understand the world, could be ripped from the only home they've known. Jennifer and Jack, with their cozy Horton family roots, would argue that Salem's underbelly of intrigue is no place for children. They promise picnics in the park, story time with grandparents, and a life free from the shadows of the DiMera legacy. But oh, the drama doesn't stop there. Let's delve deeper into the emotional layers of this potential goodbye. Chad, in the dim light of the catacombs, would be tormented by visions of what he's missing. He paced the cold stone floors, his mind racing with memories of Thomas's laughter echoing through the DiMera mansion, or Charlotte's tiny hands clutching his finger. Kristen might taunt him, her voice dripping with Fox sympathy. Poor Chad, always the victim. By the time we get out of here, your precious brats will be calling Jennifer Mommy, Tony. perhaps more pragmatic, could offer hollow reassurances. But the isolation would gnaw at Chad's soul. He'd pound on the walls, scream into the void, desperate for a way out. Knowing every passing hour brings him closer to losing everything. And what about the children? In true soap opera fashion, we'd see heart-rending scenes of Thomas asking, "Where's Daddy?" His big eyes filled with confusion and fear. Charlotte might cling to her stuffed animal, a gift from Chad, as Jennifer tries to soothe her with lullabies that once belonged to Abigail. The custody battle would ripple through Salem, dividing loyalties. Friends like Sonny Kiriakis might rally to Chad's defense, testifying to his growth as a father. But without Chad there to corroborate, it could all fall flat. Enemies and Chad as plenty might whisper poison, amplifying doubts about his fitness. Now, let's speculate wildly, as we love to do here at TV Day's Drama Digest. What if this custody loss becomes permanent? Chad emerges from the catacombs a broken man, only to find his children whisked away to Horton family gatherings, their DiMera heritage diluted in a sea of normalcy. The goodbye he never got to say would haunt him. No final hugs, no whispered promises of "I'll always love you." It could spark a revenge arc, with Chad vowing to reclaim his family, leading to explosive confrontations. Perhaps he'd ally with unlikely partners like a reformed Kristen, to expose some DiMera conspiracy that proves his innocence. Or, in a twist of fate, Abigail's spirit, because soaps love a good ghostly intervention, could guide him back to his kids. But wait, there's more to unpack. Let's consider the broader implications for Days of Our Lives. This storyline echoes classic themes of family bonds tested by adversity. Much like the epic custody battles of the past, think Sammy Brady's fights over her children, or the Horton-Devereaux feuds. It adds layers to Chad's character, transforming him from a suave businessman to a desperate father, willing to cross lines he once swore off. For Jennifer, it's a chance to shine as the protective matriarch, but at what cost? Winning custody might alienate allies and stir up old resentments, especially if Chad's disappearance is revealed as foul play. Fans, we know you're as invested as we are. In our comments sections and social media polls, you've shared your theories. Will Chad escape in time? Could a last-minute hero like Steve Johnson or Rafe Hernandez swoop in with evidence? Or is this the setup for a long-term arc where Chad fights tooth and nail to regain his family? One thing's for sure, this potential heartbreaking goodbye would deliver the kind of emotional payoff that keeps us coming back week after week. The tears, the suspense, the dramatic reveals, it's all there, waiting to unfold. To make this even more vivid, let's imagine a detailed episode breakdown. Episode 1, the setup. We open with Chad in the catacombs, his shirt torn, face scarred from days of captivity. Flashbacks intercut, happy moments with Thomas building forts out of pillows. Charlotte's first steps toward him. Cut to the surface, Jennifer in her living room, poring over legal documents with Jack. "We have to do this for Abby's sake," she says, her voice cracking. The tension builds as the hearing date is announced. Episode 2, the hearing begins. The courtroom fills with Salem's elite. Doug and Julie Horton sit supportively behind Jennifer, while DiMera loyalists like EJ murmur doubts. The judge calls for Chad's silence. Jennifer's lawyer presents evidence, Chad's history of violence. Remember that time he shot someone? His emotional instability post-Abigail. Witnesses take the stand, and Nanny testifying to Chad's absences. A psychologist opining on trauma's effects. Episode 3, Chad's despair. Back in the catacombs, Chad overhears snippets of conversation through a hidden vent, maybe Kristen's secret phone, because she's always got one. He learns of the hearing and collapses in agony. "My kids. I can't lose them," he whispers, tears streaming. Meanwhile, above, Thomas draws a picture of his family, including a missing Chad figure, breaking Jennifer's heart even as she pushes forward. Episode 4, the verdict. The judge deliberates, the room hushed. In light of Mr. DiMera's absence and the evidence presented, custody is awarded to Jennifer and Jack Devereaux. Gasps echo. Jennifer hugs the children, but her victory feels hollow. Cut to Chad, sensing the loss intuitively, roaring in fury. Episode 5, the aftermath. Chad escapes, perhaps through a daring rescue or his own ingenuity, only to find his home empty. He bursts into the Horton house, confronting Jennifer. "You stole my children," he accuses. A heated argument ensues, with Jack intervening. The kids peek from upstairs, torn between loyalties. This sets up months of drama, supervised visits, appeals, maybe even a kidnapping plot. Just imagining it gives us chills. But let's not stop at the plot, let's talk character development. Chad's journey can mirror real-life struggles with parental rights, adding depth and relatability. For Jennifer, it's about legacy, preserving Abigail's memory through her grandchildren. And the DiMera catacombs? They symbolize the family's buried secrets, forcing Chad to confront his heritage. Of course, soaps are unpredictable. Maybe Chad makes a miraculous appearance via video link, or a DiMera minion testifies on his behalf. Perhaps the captivity is part of a larger scheme by Megan Hathaway or another villain. turning the custody battle into a red herring. Fans have speculated on forums Chad deserves happiness after all he's lost, or Jennifer's overstepping those kids need their dad. At TV Days Drama Digest, we thrive on these debates. This story, if it plays out, could be Emmy-worthy. With Billy Flynn delivering powerhouse performances of raw grief, Melissa Reeves would shine in scenes of conflicted triumph. The children actors, though young, could convey innocence lost, pulling at our heartstrings. But what do you think, dear readers? Will Chad's predicted fate come to pass? Will he endure this heartbreaking goodbye, or will Salem's twist save the day? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing your predictions. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.